Welcome to Metaphysical Bharat. Namaskar. Om Tat Sat. This video today we are going to talk about levels of excellence, and levels of excellence is a kind of a gradation. If one understand, one can develop a lot of day-to-day operational excellence and even beyond it. This particular channel is being made to propagate the knowledge among anybody who is interested for self-development. And Bharat as a civilization, India as a country has so much to offer. And if you want to really support me, keep watching this video till end, because a lot of new things are going to emerge. And आखिरी तक आप ये जो वीडियो ये देखिए, and do like, comment, and also subscribe to the video. That is the way I'll get motivated to bring up new concepts and unknown concepts from the philosophical tradition of India. So let's understand, if you really understand the categories by which people generally develop in their life, is based on risk. So there are three categories of people. One is the risk takers, one is the caretakers, and another is the undertakers. The risk takers are visionary. They always go beyond their comfort, and they're able to take a lot of hard effort. So there is an element of prayatnam, effort kalam, which is all about time. And then we have daivam, which is the blessings of the God. So it is keep on doing work and great things would happen. So there is the risk taking. People are the second type, are basically the caretakers. So generally they take commands and they follow orders and they are a bit obedient, and things are okay, and they are able to really function quite average, and that is also okay. But to a large extent, one has to strive to understand the better dimensions of life in terms of excellence. And the third one is talking about, rather, they are the people who are undertakers. That these people are generally misplaced, so they don't take some of the things that is happening in life very, very seriously. Now, what actually, how do you develop excellence? And let's understand what does India, in terms of its philosophy and spirituality, has to talk about. And there are three types of excellence. And this three types of excellence talks about, the first one is called as an transactional excellence or transactional intelligence. The second one is, I would say, which is intuitive. And there comes the Indian aspect. And the last one is called the being intelligence. And how do you integrate the first two? So let's talk slowly all these three types of intelligence, and we'll integrate this to the risk takers. And if you get into the olden tradition, rather the ancient India, all our scholars and the sages and the saints have been the people, they're all risk takers. So they have built civilization. And otherwise also, if you talk about whether it is mathematics, whether it is science, whether it is astronomy, whether it is culture, so much of development happened not automatically. It's because of lots of iterations, lots of experimentation. So transactional intelligence or transactional or operational intelligence is something where people are trying to do day-to-day work, and they get merged in that, and they are not able to see something beyond. And something our educational system, they talk about, which is hard reality, empirical reality, but we don't give much of importance to the intuitive understanding. Our sages and the seers, they have given a lot of understanding or rather importance to the intuitive intelligence. Because we see something hard, we see something empirical, we see something concrete, and we observe them and we study them, then we get into a kind of a conclusion. Now, if you see the entire Vedic literature is something called as an Apurushaya. Now, what does it mean? It is not Bhakti Kendrik. No individual has written it, but ultimately, this can be a speculation, but ultimately these are being compiled. Like Ved Vyas has compiled the four Vedas. The Rig Veda, the Ajur Veda, the Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. And of course, there are more literature which has even branched out from them. So it's a collective work. And a lot of importance was given to the intuitive intelligence. And what is intuitive intelligence? Intuitive intelligence is an intelligence which is something which is from within. So it is aparoksha anubhuti. Ek hote anubhuti. So that happens because somebody is into the meditative state, somebody is into the contemplative state, and a lot of knowledge dawn upon us. So the sages and the seers, they had that intuitive. In your own life also, if you really see how many times you have taken decisions based on rationality and what was the outcome, and how many times you have taken decision based on your intuitive domain and what was the outcome. And this is something where we are trying to really gather or take certain kind of an intelligence from the rishis, or we can call this as a rishi intelligence. And the third one is something called as a beingness, because being. And even in Western philosophy, being is being talked much. And this being intelligence is something called as more like sthiti, or it is a state. And I know that things are going to work for me, and it is a state of awareness. It is a mindfulness. It is a kind of a sajakta. I have done my job, and the universe is going to give me results. So try to understand that. This is an element of trust. So mostly what is happening is that we cannot manifest our excellence in spite we are qualified, we have studied, we are hardworking, we are sincere, because we are stuck into the first one, and that is the operational or transactional intelligence. And we are unable to really take a shift from transactional intelligence to the second one, which is talking about the transcendental or rather intuitive intelligence. And this is not much spoken about. And once we have this intuitive intelligence, we need to really trust it. Otherwise, if you distrust your intuition, then you are not into a being state. We are not into a living state. You are not a living, breathing being. Then sometimes both those intelligence doesn't really merge and become the last one, which is called the being intelligence. You live, okay? So you'll find the artist, the painters, and all people in this world who are actually the performers. They're able to do good things because they have done an element of study. They have gone within. And this within, when a person has gone within, they have given that kind of a element of transformation. So we are moving from the first one, which is transactional intelligence, to the intuitive intelligence, to the being intelligence. And once that is getting integrated, a lot of things happens. Now, in this context, if you really understand two dimensions, one is something called as a Swarupa Gyan, and that is called the Vritti Gyan. Now, this intelligence can only functions if there's a base. So there has to be an Adhisthana, and that Adhisthana is basically the Swarup. Swarup means self-knowledge, self-awareness. And that is also one of the important dimensions of emotional intelligence. To what extent do you know about it? So it is a conviction. It is not confidence. And generally people have an element of opinion. People have information, but very few people have a conviction. So convictions happens because you have a Swarup Gyan. Generally people tend not to really give a lot of importance to the Swarupa Gyan. Instead people get into the Vritti Gyan. Vritti is the fluctuations, or it is day-to-day cognition. Now day-to-day cognition is not sometimes right. It is not appropriate. It has to be made right. And that happens because of Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Shravana is all about listening. Like you are listening to me, you are listening to some other videos, you are listening to your teachers, you are listening to your dad and mom. So Shravana, and Shravana is again a full attention. Manana is Chintan, is contemplation, and Nididhyasana is basically to do with the meditation. Now here, people who are able to get into the risk taking, it is because they have an element of conviction, they have an element of intelligence, and they know that it is the being that is actually manifesting in the way by which they want to really operate. So your operational intelligence is being backed by intuitive intelligence and your being intelligence. So this is something that we really understand, the way things can work out and things can take a lot of way by which one can develop. So do have a lot of understanding in the concepts that I have talked about today. And once you really implement, you will find a lot of changes happens in your life. And it is something which takes time, and it is a gradual development. Ultimately, development doesn't happen in a day or even in a year. It is an investment. It is a sankalp. And get involved. Wish you all the best. Om Tat Sat.